Welcome to Weekly Sports Talk. My name is Sean Aspila Garisel. This is the program where we unpack sports events, sports talk, and we conversate with the biggest personalities in our country, in Africa, and worldwide. Today we have one of Namibia's best coaches. It does not get really bigger than this. I don't know if we should call him Henk, coacher, or so. Welkom meneer.
Hi.
Dit is ons program, is Weekly Sports Talk. Het is een programma waar ons sports discussions het.
Yeah. Hi Sean, thank you for having me, and it's a privilege and an honor for all the kind words, and thank you for the good job that you guys are doing for sports in Namibia and Africa.
Coach, tell me, see, as sports enthusiasts, there are different kinds. There are those that know sports from back in the day, there are those that know sports from last month or from the Olympics. Young sports enthusiasts do not know who Coach Henk is. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from? Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Yeah, I was born in Windhoek actually, and 48 hours later my parents moved to Keetmanshoop. It's not something I'm proud of, but anyhow, I'm just joking. And from there on, we spent some time in Windhoek, we spent some time in Walvis Bay, but most of my school career I was in Otjiwarongo, where I grew up. From there on, I finished school and went to South Africa for studies. I was for about 9 years in South Africa. Me and my wife were studying, returning to the land of the brave, Namibia. And obviously, we were based for 2 years in Windhoek. And then there was an opportunity in Grootfontein, and that's about 22 years ago. And we went to Grootfontein. And that is how we got to Grootfontein. And obviously, as far as sports concerned, I'm a sports lover. I do almost every sport I can think of. I love all sport. And I've actively done athletics myself, as well as rugby and some cricket and some golf. I was also the national captain for Namibian rugby, and I also represented Namibia. That in those days it was still Southwest Africa on the junior levels. And obviously, I just love sport all over.
Yes, Coach. You say you did various sports. Obviously, we know you did rugby. You were the. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you were captaining the very first team in the very first test in the new millennium.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what we just want to know is, at that stage when you were doing rugby, when you're doing these other sports, did you ever think or know that you will, or in your wildest dream, that you will become an athletics coach?
You know, coaching was part of my life since at a very young age. I was coaching even in South Africa, returning coaching rugby here. I've coached at the under-19 national team at the World Cup. I've been involved with coaching for quite a time, but I always had a big love for athletics. And I must be honest with you, since I can remember, I always said I want to be at the Olympics and I want to be part of the Olympics. I at that stage thought maybe as an athlete, I've never dreamt of being as a coach, but your question is, have I ever dreamt this? No, I haven't dreamt this. But that is life, and life is a journey, and the journey will take us where we need to be.
Indeed. And with rugby, you see, like with rugby, some of us are also rugby enthusiasts. When you were playing rugby, have you played at professional level? How far your career went? Any regrets as to whether you wanted to do more, or tell us about it?
There might be a bit of regrets, but you know, if you look back at everything, you think everything happened as it was supposed to happen. I did play some rugby in South Africa. I played over 100 first-rank games there. They did pay me a bit, but it was not semi-professional. Returning to Namibia, it was totally amateur. I did get offers when I was still fairly young to go and play in France, but our situation at that stage was just like that. We couldn't go, and I may regret that, but I think what I have now, I'm so thankful that I can't regret anything.
Coach, you are hailed as one of the best coaches in Africa and in the world. How do you push yourself to the next level, knowing that? And how do you gauge yourself as a coach?
Yeah, thank you for the very good honor of saying those words, and it's great words. But there's a lot of good coaches all around the world, and obviously in Africa and in Namibia. But to gauge myself, I think to have a professional attitude towards sport. I still believe that we have a lot of opportunities that awaits us in Namibia, but we are not being professional towards it. So from day one, I sat down with my athletes and I tell them, listen, this is my vision, this is where I want to end. I can tell you how to get there. You must train and work hard to achieve that. So I never take on an athlete with the thing, it's just fun. I don't work on fun. I work highly on results and performance. And as I said, that's the good thing about athletics. You can actually outrun yourself every day. And if you beat yourself every day, you'll become a world champion.
Fantastic, Coach. I'm almost burning to want to ask this question when I think you talk about coaching. The girls, Beatrice and Christine. In June, we were reading that they wanted to have their preparations for Paris from next year. They will be doing it in South Africa. How does that sit with you as a coach? Why is it that they choose coaching in South Africa as opposed to continuing with you? Do we have to look into that too much?
Yes, obviously that is a very controversial issue for myself as well as other people. But I think there was a bit of misperception on Christine. Christine never wanted to go to South Africa. And I can tell you with all my heart, she's staying with me. She's not going to South Africa.
Oh.
We are preparing. We have already got our plan for next year. So for Beatrice, I think it was a bit difficult for Beatrice being in the camp and always being the second fiddle. Unfortunately, I don't think she's at the right place now. I think that moving to another coach isn't the problem. It's just moving to the right facility. And hopefully that works for her, because I think she's a very highly talented athlete. And I believe that Beatrice can have a long and excellent career. As far as Christine is concerned, we had a great meeting even this morning. And we have great plans for the new year, and we've established a plan for Paris already. So yes, we are on track, and we're definitely gonna achieve what we want.
Coach, if you're coaching, when you coach two top athletes like that, make me understand. How easy does it become? Obviously, knowing that you kind of raised them, but how does this management of such top athletes go? How do you continuously keep doing this? Like, and when such things arise, like, or rumors like that one wants to go, should that be true? Should that arise? How do you go around that kind of situation?
Yes, I said to somebody, there's no textbook on these things. You don't know. You go with what is going on, and I've been with these girls for quite a time, and I just want the best for them. If another coach or a movement is better for them, let them do it. I'm not there to interfere or do anything like that. But I can just tell you that it's not easy. But what I said to my athletes, and it's not only for them, it's for all athletes, whenever you perform for yourself. Don't perform to try and beat Shirley Ann Fraser-Pryce. The thing is, you can only be your best. And if your best is better than Shirley Ann Fraser-Pryce, then you will beat her. But if you are so concentrated on her opponent, and I think that was the problem with Beatrice, she was so concentrated on trying to beat Christine that she missed the opportunities that was there. And even if you take the world champs, it was a pity the girls couldn't run. I still believe that Christine would have been the world champion this year if she didn't have the injury. But if you take that, it was just a matter of preparation for Beatrice. She was just not right prepared for that. And I still believe if they prepared it fully, she would have been in the final. And maybe if you are in the final, it's anybody's race. But unfortunately, we know what happened, and I don't want to go into that. But that is the problem, is preparation and the whole thing. And if an athlete comes with things like they want to move to a coach, it's not for us coaches to stop them. It's just to make sure that they make the right choice.
I want to know, do they make you angry sometimes, like with not taking instructions and so? And how do you, like, if you want to not to say shout at them, how do you protect them by not shouting on the other one or not making the other one feel less than? How do you manage that?
I'm not an aggressive coach, to be honest with you. On the field, you will never see me shout. I'm an excited coach. I will get excited. I will say, come on, you can do better, or something like that. But I'm not aggressive. I don't attack anybody. I will talk to them if there's something wrong. But I do have a no tolerance for discipline off the field. So if we say we are flying at 10 o'clock in the morning and you are not 10 o'clock, then I will have hard words with them. And unfortunately, that did happen with Beatrice. It never happened with Christine, because I know Christine. Christine will be late if I do not give her a 10-minute pre-call. But with Beatrice, she was always like punctual. And things have just changed the last year like that. And yes, I was sometimes hard on her, but I never gave her less attention or give her less than Christine. Actually, I think I gave her a bit too much. Because Christine is a very laid-back, easy person, where Beatrice is a social person. She needs attention 24/7.
There are rumors that at one point there was outside influence in advising you to advise the girls against signing professional contracts. Is there any truth to that?
No, there was people that said they don't think they must sign contracts and they mustn't do that. There was a lot of, you know, the Namibian people are so passionate about our sport, and then a lot of people will try and give advice and try and interfere. Obviously, there's no ways you can run and you can do what these girls have done without a professional contract, because this is costing money, and you need money to run, but you also need money to live, so they must earn money. And I just had to speak to different role players, and obviously we spoke to an agent, and yes, not everything went as planned with the agent, but the good thing about agents is they are only on a yearly base.
Okay.
So they are only appointed on a year base, and every year then you must renew according to World Athletics, and then it's very easy to get rid of a bad agent. But there was people that didn't want the girls to become professional, but at the end of the day, I can't foresee.
Are these influential people?
Not really, I don't think so. There was people that criticized me, influential people, maybe in the politics, that criticized me on certain things, but I've never done something not to do it to the best of the girls. Yes, I made mistakes on the way, because I'm also new in this, but as far as I'm concerned, nothing would have happened if we didn't turn them professional.
Saying that, like with influence, or not influence per se, you groomed these girls from a very young age, from 15, you took them in your care. So having taken them in your care, I always wanted to ask you, the girls have reached a certain level. How do you guard against, this is a time of Instagram, TikTok, and so on. These small boys who are giving inbox and so to these girls, how do you guard and keep them away from these so-called TikTok boys?
Yeah,
do you have this father talk to them?
I did have the talk, and I did have a talk not only as far as boys is concerned, about everybody. You know how life is. If it's going financially good with you, you have a lot of friends. If you don't have it, you don't have friends. So I said to them, listen, girls, you must just remember, whenever somebody is friends with you because of who you are now, and they wouldn't have been friends with you before you were known, then it's not worth the friendship.
Indeed.
But yes, we did have that talk, and we still have talks from time to time. And the good thing is, especially with me and Christine, we have an excellent relationship, and she will come and she will talk to me. She just called me last night and said, Coach, I've got toothache. And then we sort it out. This is a simple thing, but even with other personal issues, she will discuss it with me, and we will assist as far as I can. If not, I will get somebody that can help her.
That's great. Coach, now tell me, first, how do you identify raw talent? How do you look at talent and see this is pure pace, this is pure top class athlete?
Yeah, you see, I'm totally different, because I don't look at the winners. I look at, first of all, the physique, how they are built, body wise, and secondly, obviously, how the technique is. Because you can get a runner that can be third or fourth in a race and really have extremely good talent. Maybe they're just in the wrong item. And the unfortunate thing, a lot of Namibians think now everybody must be 200 and 100 sprinters. But that isn't necessary. I mean, we have identified this young Retief boy. He was actually at a very young age. His mom talked to me, and I said to her, listen, I'm not here. We need to get you in the system. And he did excellently well in South Africa, in Commonwealth and in South Africa. We also, I've got two boys now with me that I'm so excited with. They just ran in Oshikati a 10.2 and a 10.3 and 100 meters. So yes, there is talent in our country, and I think I've got an eye for it, and I think we can see more athletes soon on the international level.
Now, coach, how do you advise those teachers, coaches that are in regions? They are looking at the young talent, 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds. How do they manage these kids? How do they for somebody who does not understand athletics and conditioning? How do you advise them to coach these children, how to not overwork them, how to manage them? What would you tell somebody?
Just first of all, the most important thing is you said overwork. So people have this thing that if we saw talent, they must train themselves into the ground. I actually got a message the other day from somebody saying, I've got a 10-year-old, he looks like a 400 athlete. I said, then you must stop immediately, because 10-year-old guys are not allowed to run 400. 400 is a sprint that you only do when you are 15 years old. So you're going to burn this boy out if it's a talentful boy. And that is the thing, is sometimes we are so over eager to train. So my advice to people that really see talent is we don't want to steal the athletes. We want to develop you also as a coach. So contact us, get him in a system. We will assist where we can assist. But the unfortunate thing is these things cost money. And I cannot take the whole Namibia into my house. But at the end, you can just get to a certain level, and then you need international exposure. And that is our biggest problem in Namibia. We have got high quality athletes without experience. We have Gilbert Hainuka, which in my opinion is an excellent sprinter. And Gilbert is currently his biggest drawback, not enough international exposure. They went to the finals of the African Champs. What happened? False start. Why does false starts happen? Not enough exposure to international level running. And we can go on with Mohamed Bok, and we can go on with them. We need to get these boys and girls on the international scene.
Coach, is there enough funding in athletics?
No, but it's getting better. These two girls have opened doors for athletics that makes it a bit easier. There is not enough. There will never be enough funding for sport, especially in a country like Namibia. But we must not always just stand like this. We must look at certain opportunities so that we can take hands together to make this possible.
With tracks, like the Independence Stadium, for example, one local coach was telling me that the track is so old and so unsafe for practice that the athletes are not fully reaching their potential or their exercising potential. What do you think? Is that a challenge to sports clubs? Is that a challenge to athletes for their development?
No, the track, as far as I'm concerned, is only a challenge as far as competitions is concerned. I don't train on a track. I only train on grass, and you can go on Google and see what Usain Bolt have done and what all the big guys are doing. They only train on grass.
So the girls also train on the grass?
We are training grass 95% and 15% we round off on a track. So you need a track, but the track is not that important for training. The track is important for events. So I can tell you we have a possibility of hosting an international event in Namibia, but we don't have a track. So that is our biggest challenge. So we are currently talking to role players, and we are currently even liaising with government to see how we can get take hands together just to replace the track. I don't care about soccer. I want the track. The soccer is a different thing, and we must host that, and we must be part of that. But for us as athletics enthusiasts, we need a track, and we need to see how we can develop the track. So the rest they can do. They can clean up and make everything beautiful, but we can host at this venue one of the world's best events. And I can tell you now, I've spoken to Fred Curley. He wants to come and run in Namibia. I've spoken to Shirley Ann Fraser-Price, Elaine Thompson. They want to come and run here, but we don't have a track to host them.
So tell me, you see, like with events, the events that you're mentioning, is the lack of events, does it affect athletes in competing outside, in competitions, like qualifying for international competitions?
Yeah, obviously you can qualify here, but I still believe you need to. I think that was the success on Christine Mboma Beatrice, the fact that we took them to Europe before Tokyo for 3 months. So we stayed for 3 months in Europe before we go to Tokyo. And the plan for next year for the World Championships in Hungary, where you guys will be there, we will get you there. And the plan is also to go at least and camp for 1 month before we're going to attend the finals in Hungary. So you need to be ready on a different level if you want to perform on a different level. If you look at the Americans, they've got a system in America where they've got world-class events every weekend. Yes, we've got events. We've got enough events, and Athletics Namibia is doing an excellent job with the events. But it's about the competition. You need to have high quality competition. It's nothing to break records and win on this track if you can't do it in Europe.
Coach, any plans for the rest of the year? Any plans for the next year?
Yes, as far as Christine is concerned, we will definitely have some rest time during September. So the whole of September she will have a rest month. I'm going to the US. I'm very excited to go and train and work on a practical training course that I will do with the United States of America's Olympic team. So we are going to Colorado Springs at the Olympic base, and then obviously I'm going to Delaware, the university later, to just do the rest of the course. And returning beginning October, we start with our pre-season until 15th of December. On the 15th of December, we'll have a short break. It will be an active break, so they will still do training, but they'll just be going home and be with the families on Christmas. And then obviously the 1st of January, we're back at track. We are starting with almost close to pre-season training. And on the 28th of April, we have our first Diamond League, which will be in China. I'm not sure whether we will do the Chinese one, but then we have, just after that, we have Doha. And Doha will be our target. That will be the 200 in Doha, and that will be our first big competition. But we will also definitely do some local competitions, and we'll again do Kenya, and we'll do Botswana, that's on the calendar, which is continental events. And then we'll only focus on the Diamond Leagues. And after that, we will move to Hungary, Budapest, where we'll stay for 1 month preparing for the World Champs. That is, if we qualify, I know she will, and I'm sure she will. If we qualify for the World Championships, we will be in Hungary and Budapest for 1 month just preparing for that. And obviously that is our big target, is trying to obtain a World Championship medal.
Coach, Godspeed with all those activities, and keep doing what you do. I want to tell you a story. There's this guy there in Katutura who he was so inspired by the girls that he was saying, he was asking Sean, kana manu kano hardloop. They said it was a claim, it was athletic hardloop. Then I told him that you are 30 years old, you cannot be starting to run now. So that's the extent to which people are inspired to run.
And that's a beautiful thing. And I must thank Namibia, I must thank you guys for doing this. People are phoning me. A lady phoned me the other day and said, I'm willing to do the relays. I'm 45. Just give me a chance. and unfortunately, there's a time to be there and there's a time to go. 30 is not that old, but for 45, it's too old. But anyhow, the reality is Namibians believe again. We believe we can be something. Indeed. We can believe we can achieve. And I think this is all thanks to the girls, and they did a wonderful job for us.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.